Hello and welcome to My Retired Life. Today we're going to talk about downsizing a little bit. In retirement ages or years, or your golden years, a lot of people think about downsizing. Now, downsizing is okay if you are prepared for that. Some people aren't. When you are going to downsize, there's a lot of things that'll play a factor, and most people in retirement want to downsize to save on the house and the upkeep and the taxes and the mortgage and have a smaller place to live. I get that. But before you get there, here's a few things you must think about before you downsize and then regret it. Should we do these in bullet points? Number one, your living space. Are you prepared to get rid of all your old stuff? You know, your heirlooms and your things that treasure and mean stuff to you. Do you have to get into a smaller place right away, or can you wait a little bit? The living space, in most cases, when you downsize, is smaller, right? That's the downsize. Pretty simple. But you really have to think about what you're going to take and put it into that smaller space. You got to think about that. Are you going to, get rid of a bedroom? Are you going to get rid of extra couches that you have in the basement, or the rec room in the basement, or anything like that? You have to. Are you going to take tools with you if you're a guy? How many tools are you going to take? Are you going to rent? Are you going to own and still have the responsibility, but just less taxes and less upkeep, a smaller yard, say? That's one of the things that you have to think about. Okay, so now you're going to downsize. You've got all these personal possessions. Now, the personal possessions, are they important to you? Are they sentimental? Do you need to take these things with you? Or are you just going to say, kids, do you want it? If not, I'm just going to throw it out. A lot of kids nowadays don't want your stuff. It doesn't fit their lifestyle. It's just memories to you. So the only thing that's valuable is value for memories. And if you're giving away all those memories, whether it's just a trinket that your grandson gave you, how does that affect you psychologically? It can. Sometimes when you're down, you just look at that and you go, geez, I got a lot of gratitude. I'm happy that I've got this from my grandson. One of the most important things. But if you're downsizing, can you take it with you? Can you take any of this stuff with you? Things to consider. Another thing when you downsize, are you losing social commitments? Are you losing friends? Right? You might lose some friends because you've downsized and moved somewhere else. So location also plays a factor into that. Now, are you going to drive that far to see your friends? That's up to you. But your friends and your social commitments, like let's say you go out with friends every Sunday night to play bingo with your girlfriends. Are you going to do that when you've moved somewhere else? Are you going to drive out at 7 o'clock at night? Or as before, you would all gather in the same location or in the community somewhere and play bingo? Just an example. Those are things that you have to consider before you downsize. Location. We got to talk a little bit about location. And I did just a bit right there. But when you downsize, quite often that means you move somewhere a little further away, unless you get into a big community and you're paying in a 55 park, say. Then you're paying extra money to be inside the park and have all the amenities. That's a whole different ball of wax there, right? Then you have that social aspect. But you still have to consider where schools are, grocery stores are, doctor's appointments are, because as you age, everybody has doctor's appointments. And if you don't, you should. At least a yearly checkup. which reminds me, I got to book mine. Independent living. Now, if you move into a 55 community, everybody's around you. There's hustle, there's bustle. Sometimes the buildings are attached. Your independence and privacy matter. That was one of the things that when we bought into a 55 community, we made sure that our neighbors weren't right next to us, or that they're going to be knocking on your door or watching you sit in the backyard. There's privacy where we are. So privacy is huge. You've got to maintain a little bit of privacy, even though you've got social commitments, right? You have to have those as well. There's a balance. You can't just have all social activity all the time. You will get tired of it, believe me. I've lived it. When we first moved into a 55, I was going to everything. I find that I didn't have time for myself. I didn't have me time or us time. So when you're going into a place, consider privacy. Usually if there's houses and there's buffers, in a 55 you're usually okay. But a lot of them are crammed. And then it's not so much of a privacy thing anymore. Another thing when you're downsizing, and there's friends of mine that are really good. They downsized, but they fixed up the house and they made a smaller home. And it's called Coffee, Walks, and Talks. Their retired life. Check them out. I'll put a link in the description. But they took a bigger home, and if you watch some of their videos, you'll see that it shrinks down. They shrunk their house, made a nice cute little backyard instead of a big backyard, but they still got space in the outdoor space for them. And they made a house, make it nice and cozy for them. So they went into it knowing that they're going to do some renovations. Now OJ and Deb are very handy, and they show you everything they do as you're going along. So if you're interested in buying a smaller house and fixing it up, check out their page. It's not a bad thing. And they're good friends, and they're in my province. I've met them. They're very nice people. If you downsize too much, you might not be able to do some of those hobbies. Like, let's say you have a big workshop where you live now. Are you going to have a big workshop when you downsize? Is it going to make a difference to you? Are you going to scale back? Right? Those are things that you have to consider when you're downsizing. And, you know, we thought we were going to downsize when we sold our one house in Arizona and moved to another. We actually got bigger. Our house got bigger, but our yard got a lot smaller, easier to manage. Our yard used to be, what was it, 50 by 78 feet, just the backyard. That didn't include the house. Now the backyard's like 15 feet by 30 feet or 40 feet. Much smaller backyard, a little more compact, and that's just fine. As we age, we're not going to want to look after that big yard that we had on the golf course. We knew this, but we considered it when we moved out. Are we going to have a backyard? And because my wife likes to do a little bit of gardening and puttering in the yard, so we needed a yard, but she didn't want to look after 50 by 78 feet long, because she likes pulling weeds. It's very therapeutic. That's one of her things. She loves doing the garden. So we had to have a yard, and we've got some trees and planters back there, and she does her thing. But that was one of the things that we had to really consider when we were moving down or shrinking, downsizing in Arizona. Yes, everything got cheaper. The taxes got cheaper. You know, it did. We're saving a little bit of money there. But our house is a bigger house than what we had. So there's trade-offs. There's you know, too big a yard, a smaller house, bigger house, smaller yard. There's all things to consider when you're downsizing, right? That's pretty much it. Just when you're going to downsize, factor in everything. Ask yourself tons of questions. Do we need this? Do we need that? Do we want this? Do we want that? Don't hastily say, I'm going to downsize. I guess that's the moral of this story. Don't make any quick decisions to downsize without thinking about it. You've been warned. Oh, okay, that's my sense of humor. Thanks for watching. Check out this video or this video, and let's call this one done.